Hello again, everybody. It's Takedown. Scott Casper with you. Our journey in the sport continues. This time, Ames, Iowa, the ultimate stop. Travis Paulson, the Iowa State assistant coach there, joins us. Travis, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, the word came out, of course, that you've been selected as the USA head cadet Pan American freestyle coach for the second year in a row. You must be doing something right.
Hopefully.
You are joined by Southeast Polk head coach Jason Christensen as the Greco coach. But the cadet level, very special for you, and for many athletes out there. This is a real pivotal time for our young athletes. Talk to us about how special this is for you.
It's just a great opportunity to work with. Sometimes with NCAA rules, they won't let you contact freshmen and sophomores, but I wanted to give back to USA Wrestling that did so much for me, taking me overseas, and given the opportunity to work with those young athletes when they're still kind of trying to figure out their style, and sometimes they're a little more open to making those changes early on in their career, to where once you've done something for so long, you're a senior, you've had a lot of success, sometimes it's a little harder, but those freshmen and sophomore, I think it's a great time to get in there and just really help them out.
Iowa State assistant Travis Paulson joins us. He is the USA head cadet Pan American freestyle wrestling coach for the second year in a row. They'll be heading to Guadalajara, Mexico. Notice how you say it there, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mexico. But you're going to be taking 11 youngsters out there to compete at the Pan Am tournament that'll take place July 1 through the 5th. You're on the very cusp of leaving for that journey. How do you prepare, given realistically it's a pretty short period of time?
Yeah, basically the only preparation I do right now is I look at the roster and then I go online and find video on each guys, because I don't want to go in there blind and not know what they do or what their styles are. And so I watch film. I kind of try to recognize their go-to attack, what they do well, what their weaknesses are. And then for those few days before competition starts, I'll put them through some workouts and try to minimize, not mainly make them know what they're really great at, and just build them up and encourage them and correct tiny mistakes, but nothing major.
Travis, it was last year you took Team USA to the top of the box with 7 gold medal performances and a silver. And believe me, the silver counts. You gotta coach them all, and you gotta grab all the medal you can. But the 7 golds tied the United States for the most ever since we started sending cadet level athletes to the event.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just a great team. A lot of the guys that I coached last summer are on the world team this year, and I mean, they were all highly motivated, worked hard. I just kind of directed it and got out of their way and let them do their thing.
Well, being one half of the Paulson brothers is not a bad inspirational model to go with, and I got to believe USA Wrestling realizes that. But you've really started to come into your own as a coach, both at the collegiate level and on the international level. I believe that good coaches aren't necessarily born; they're developed. You've had some of the best. Most notably, recently, you've had Kevin Jackson to model your career after.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to get back, and it's a learning process with coaching, and I feel like I understand what motivates me, but it's fun trying to figure out what motivates other people and how they tick, and getting them to buy into what you're saying. And you kind of figure out that athletes don't really care what you're saying unless they know that you care, unless they know you have their back. And that's what I like to tell athletes, that, hey, I'm just here to help you win. I'm here to get you to the top, and just let them know that I have their back, and then give them back with going overseas and working in the past with all these coaches. I've learned so much from them, so I want to do the same and just take what I've learned and help them and pass it on.
Coach, I don't know how many, and this event, by the way, 16 and 17-year-old athletes from around the country. How many are returners?
I only have one returner on this team.
Wow, so it really is almost like beginning from square one. But let's face it, wrestling wasn't invented yesterday. there are certain things you're looking for. What does the team look like in your estimation, having reviewed the video?
I mean, we got again a real solid lineup. We have a couple guys that made the Greco World team that are on this team, and they all. I mean, some are good from an underhook, some or once they get on top, it's over because they're great in parterre. But collectively as a group, they're pretty tight technically, and they're competitors. When you watch them, what I like seeing with these guys before they go out and wrestle, you can tell by their body language they're not nervous. It's almost like they can't wait to get their hands on who they're wrestling, and that's one of the biggest aspects is the mind game. And these guys like to compete, so I'm excited to see what they can do. But I think it's going to be a great team.
To our viewers out there, we apologize for the sometimes choppy nature of the video today. Internet being what it is, I think it's pretty good. Our guest, Travis Paulson, USA head cadet Pan American freestyle wrestling coach, will be joined by Jason Christensen, who has built quite a name for himself over the years, not just at Southeast Polk, but before he had a touch on you as well, didn't he?
Yes, sir. I mean, he's a great coach. He coached me when I was getting ready for Fargo, the Iowa junior camp, and he did an outstanding job. You know, he makes a huge impact, but he's soft-spoken, and he's easy to relate to. When I saw he was on the list, I was excited because he's not only a great coach, but he's also just a great organizer. Parents are never going to wonder what exactly the schedule is, who to go to. He's going to do a great job of everything's planned to a T. I like doing that stuff too, but he might even be just a little bit better than me at it. He's just it's
hard for you to say, isn't it? That somebody's
when you think coaching, I think about just working with athletes, but there's so much more to it, and that's how I've been growing as a coach. But since we all got the roster and the emails, boom, Johnny on the spot. Hey, just wanted to introduce myself. Here's my number. Here's my email. If you have any questions in the process, he's just one of those guys that's always on top of it. He's a great leader.
Travis Paulson has been our guest in the Nike hot seat today. I don't think you would be where you're at without the Cyclone Wrestling Club. Of course, the Cyclone Nation has been perhaps one of your, or at least some of your greatest supporters out there. Your family was able to be featured this weekend as we took a look at how some were celebrating Father's Day. You do it in memory of your father, but there's a great shot of you, your brother, and your dad. And then we finish the segment, I believe, with a picture of you and your baby. At least I think it's you. It could be your brother. Yeah. But I was more interested, of course, in the closeness between you and the baby. So it was a pretty neat way for us to show the nation how, and those in the sports world, how wrestlers are celebrating Father's Day. It's pretty cool. So again, you're going to be teaching. You're going to be coaching in Guadalajara, Mexico, your second consecutive year to go south of the border, this time to Mexico, last year Brazil, and we're looking forward to an equal level of success. Last year, 7 golds and a silver. Paulson, you got a lot to live up to.
I know. I relish the challenge. Let's do it.
You relish it. Kyvan Gadsden, the job you did with Gadsden, perhaps, you haven't been congratulated nearly enough as Kyvan, but Kyvan rose to the top at 97 last year with an NCAA title in 2015, and a lot of that had to do with you. You kept him focused.
Kyvan Gadsden's a very special individual. He's great in all aspects. He's very disciplined. He does everything he needs to do in school, socially. Just challenge, and he's a very, very gifted athlete. He can do some things that others can't. And working with him was a great opportunity, and just keeping him focused and locked in, just not letting his mind wander, and kind of a laser focus on exactly what he needed to do. And he bought in. He did a great job.
Well, job well done by you and the balance of the staff at Iowa State. Travis, we appreciate you taking the time today. Our best to Trent and the wives, of course, and everybody on the team. We're looking forward to seeing all the action from the Pan American Tournament in Guadalajara, July 1st through the 5th. Safe travels, my friend, and thanks for joining us in the Nike Hot Seat here on Takedown.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.